Hi, I'm Katrina, and this is Boldly Challenging Ableism. I'm your host, Katrina Simons. I'm the Community Program Specialist at the Institute on Community Integration at the University of Minnesota. This program explores various topics that impact people with disabilities in our community. Each episode addresses a different aspect of our society within the context of ableism. Ableism is the prejudice that stems from the belief or belief system that assumes someone is less capable or less worthy because of a real or perceived difference in ability or function. On this program, we hope to answer some questions you may have been afraid to ask, or maybe some you didn't even know you had. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Boldly. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm so pumped because our guest today is Nick Wilkie, who was going to be my co-host last season and was unable to do that, but has returned to join us today. So that's exciting. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great, Katrina. Like during the intro, I was getting some dance moves going. It was good.
Yeah, I feel like this is like some long-awaited thing because I feel like we waited a long time to get you on the podcast.
Right.
Because even though you were on for 3 episodes last season, I felt like we felt kind of like gypped because you were going to be on for 16.
Right.
And then you were on for 3, and I was like, I gotta have him back. And now you're back.
Totally.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to be here. All
right. Well, okay. How you been?
I've been doing great. I had a tremendous summer, a tremendous fall. I got to get out on one of my recreational hobbies that was so good, and I'll save that for when the question is directed that way. But I'm doing awesome. Things where I work at the Center for Independent Living are going great. We've started promoting classes again now. We're still doing a lot of outreach in the community, and it's cold outside, but we're cruising.
We're pulling through like true Minnesotans.
every single day.
All right, Nick. Now we've never really we've had you on the podcast before, but we've never really had you introduce yourself. Can you introduce yourself?
I would love to.
Okay.
Hello, viewers. My name is Nicholas Wilkie. I am from St. Paul, Minnesota. I've grown up in St. Paul. I got a mortgage in St. Paul. Pretty much all of my family is in Wisconsin, and so I spent a lot of time over there. And let's see here, mortgage in St. Paul. I've got a dog. I've got a dog named Frida. I have a wife named Jackie, and I am a significant part of the disability community here in the Twin Cities, and I'm so excited to be here.
Wait, okay, I didn't know about the dog. I want to talk about the dog.
You want to talk about the dog?
Yeah, I want to talk about the dog. I didn't know about the
dog. So we got Frida last April.
Okay.
And she's our first German Shepherd.
Okay.
And she's 43 pounds, and she's so smart, and she's bonkers.
Okay, did you get her as a puppy?
So we got her when she was about 7 to 8 months old.
Okay.
And she was advertised as a pocket shepherd. So she's not supposed to get that big. But her paws, Katrina, are the size of my fist.
But that's probably good because I feel like she'll have good gripping on the snow,
Right. And it's so fun to, we take her to dog parks all the time, and she gets to get her energy out. And she's such a sweet dog, but she's very protective of Jackie and myself, and we're trying to train that, kind of letting her know that she doesn't need to be as protective of us because we got it.
Okay.
What's your favorite dog park, Nick?
Favorite dog park? Favorite dog park is Battle Creek Dog Park, just outside of St. Paul.
Okay, is that the one by the airport?
Oh no, but I've been to the airport one, Katrina. I like the airport one, but I find I like Battle Creek a little bit better because there's like trails and you feel like you're in the woods
Yeah.
versus like at the airport, I feel like you're just in like this big field.
Right. Well, and it's a different like it's like having a kid, right? Like you could take your kid
Oh
to
yeah,
the park with other kids where there's like play structures,
right.
or you take
Yeah,
a kid on a hike, and both
totally.
have advantages, but they're not the same.
Right.
I
Yeah.
feel like.
So the thing that I like about Battle Creek is like once you get in there, there's some open spaces where um you can totally see the dogs run and like because Jackie and I live in St. Paul, we have a fenced in yard and it's great, but you know, she doesn't get to fly like she does
Right.
like she does at the dog park.
But does that also mean you can like let her out if she has to pee?
Hmm.
So see,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
great too.
so our yard is fenced in, but it's not fenced in to the doorway that we go in. So we do have to put her on the leash, take her outside, and then bring her into the yard. And
Okay.
that's because we live in a very old house that's been divided into three separate condos.
Okay. And do you live in all three of the condos or just one of them?
Oh, heart of hearts.
Okay.
Wish I had my own space.
Okay.
But no, Jackie and I, we live on the back side of the second and third floor. So also the place where I live, the place where I call home, is very inaccessible.
Okay.
But I can do it now. There might be a time where I don't want to do it,
Right.
but that's a time to be determined.
Okay. So like is that something you're thinking about these days?
Like thinking about
Like
selling, thinking about
yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah,
yet.
okay. No, you're happy where you are
Not
now.
yet.
I love
Happy where we are. We're 10 years into our mortgage. We've got
Okay.
we got 20 years left. You know, happy with our financial.
Your mortgage rate? I know that was a tricky thing for a while for people.
Well,
Not just you,
so
the whole
yes, we're okay. Like we're locked in at 4%. So it's
Okay.
not so bad.
That's
It's
not
not it's not as good as some of my friends and neighbors. But
okay. Because I heard they were going up to like 7, 8%.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad you don't
th-
have to do that.
we're not doing that. We're 11 years in and it's going solid.
Okay. And is Frida your first dog?
No, Frida is not our first dog.
First dog. Okay.
Our first dog we got about 16 years ago,
Okay.
and then we also had another dog. Um, we got another dog. So it was Levi was our first dog, and our second dog was Bruce, and we had Levi and Bruce together for about 4
Okay.
years.
So are you gonna get Frida like a pet for your pet?
We did that for Levi. It did like so when we had Levi and Bruce, it worked out for camaraderie, but two dogs is a different machine.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I don't have a dog, but my sister does. It's a Saint Bernard. He's my bestest friend in the whole
oh my
wide world.
goodness.
I know. I gotta send you a picture. Maybe we'll post a picture with this
What
episode.
what's the Saint Bernard's name?
Its name is Sitka, and he's gonna be 4 in what is the date today? Today's the 8th, right?
That is
Okay,
so
so in
cool.
9 days he will be 4.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Are
12, 17,
what
21 is his B-day. And
nice.
he's great, and I want to get him a pet for himself because he loves other dogs, but all the other dogs are scared of him because he's big.
Right.
But Greta, my sister, says we cannot get him a pet because he's a lot of work because he's 150 pounds and he eats
Right.
like he's 150 pounds and
Wow.
buy him vet medicine. You have to buy him like the large dog breed and then the small dog
Right.
breed and then the medium sized breed because he's so big that they don't make it and
Wow.
weight. They don't make the dog
Wow.
for his weight. So you have to pay all the money.
Wow.
And he has to get groomed, and it costs a lot of money every time he gets groomed.
That's
But he's so great. He's so great.
And you said his name is Sitka?
Sitka, like the town in Alaska or the tree.
Wow. That's that's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm imagining he's about as big as you.
He's a little bit bigger, actually. I love it when he lies on top of me. He's like a nice
That's
little
awesome.
blanket.
Right.
I can't get him to do it very often because he gets hot. He's like, bye, I gotta go lie in the snow.
Does he think he's a small dog?
No, he doesn't think he's no, he doesn't really think he's a small dog, but he doesn't really understand size.
Right.
Like, I love him so much. I wouldn't say he's like the brightest dog, so I don't know if he understands the concept of size. You know, because like that's hard for dogs. And also he gets really sad because he wants to play with all the other dogs, and sometimes they're scared of him because he's big, and I don't think he knows why they're scared of him.
Right.
But he loves the snow, and he has two friends, Rufus, and I forget, he has lots of other friends. I forget their names. But so he's making friends now that it's winter and he can go outside for more than 5 seconds.
That's
One
awesome.
time we took him on a walk, but it was like 95 degrees, and I thought we killed him. I was like, I'm really glad I didn't kill my nephew because I love him a lot, and I don't want him to be dead.
No, that's awesome.
It was terrible. It was like, I don't know if you remember, but like 2 years ago in May,
oh yeah,
we had it was like 50, 50, 50, 80.
Yeah.
And then like 90, like day, like one day was 50 and then it was 90. And that was the day that we decided to take the dog for a walk. I don't understand why. He got very hot. But now he likes to just lay in the snow. It's very cute.
Oh, cute.
But I bet Frida's very cute in a more active way.
She is very cute. She also looks great laying in the snow.
Yeah.
She's not afraid to roll in the snow. Sometimes we have to, like when we're in we're in mixed groups of people, with all kinds of different people running around. She gets a little anxious. So we are muzzle training her, and she of course doesn't want to wear the muzzle, but the muzzle ensures that she's not going to get too aggressive with
does she nip if she gets too nervous?
So like she's a herding dog, so like she'll try to herd, anybody and try to get them in a group, and when she does that, she kind of like aggressively pushes with her nose.
Yeah,
and then sometimes
you go in line. That's what her
and she wants to get everybody in a group. And when people are making sudden movements like all over the place, she's like, hey.
Yeah.
So it's been like trying to teach people to not react when she does that, because she's gonna use her big voice to try to get you to go in line.
Yeah. Does she ever have to go to school?
We're doing some active school with her.
Yeah.
She both Jackie and I took our previous dogs through a couple levels of dog training, so we are well versed in what kinds of structure we need to do.
Yeah.
But she's also our first German Shepherd, so her level of, she just needs to be exercised
all the
left
time.
and right.
Yeah.
And it was great because this weekend we were visiting some good friends out of town, and they also have a dog that needed tons of exercise. So we went and did that yesterday, and everybody got exercise, including myself.
Yeah. So she's okay in the car?
Yep. Oh, she
nice.
she was zonked out on the way home yesterday.
Yeah, Sitka likes the car too. He likes to put his head out the window, which is my favorite part, because he's so big.
That's cute.
And then everybody like honks at us because our dog is so big.
Yeah, it like takes up the whole window.
I know, he's like a celebrity. I love it.
That's awesome. Can you get him to wear any hats?
Okay, one time we gotta wear a hat. I'll send you a picture. Not after that.
Perfect.
Just the one time in his entire life.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Katrina.
Yeah,
Well, what a great like dog sidebar.
I know. I love it. And I didn't know about Frida. So
Right.
Frida has been with you since April and before. So you've been a dog parent for a long time.
Yes.
Okay. Now I don't mean to
They
be
definitely complete my picture.
yeah. I don't mean to be rude or presumptuous, but I happen to know that you have cerebral palsy like I do, and you sometimes struggle to be steady on your feet. So how does walking the dog work? Or it just happens for you?
So walking the dog,
Okay.
historically, I'm not the person that carries the leash
Okay.
because I've got my accessories that I use.
Right.
But if I am by myself, um, I I can make sure Frida gets out. I can I can walk her slowly down the block. She behaves differently for me on the leash
Yeah.
than she does for my wife. Um, the only challenge for me is that Frida has a tendency to um, wrap me up in the leash,
Oh shoot.
and that's a little problematic.
I feel like that's not great when like
No,
balance can be an issue.
no, it's not. So that's why we have to go so slow because I spend a majority of the time unwrapping the leash around me, only to have her wrap me up again.
Well, but I'm glad it sounds like you figured it out though
Well,
when you have
it's
to.
I figured out totally, but I'm also not good at like like turning around in a circle. So
Oh,
the best approach for me is to unwrap the leash around myself because if I tell her to go around me, she'll just wrap me up more or ultimately start wrapping me up in the other direction
yeah,
and
shoot.
we get nowhere fast.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're not the primary walker then.
what I like to go for walks just like anybody else, but
Yeah.
if I'm not if
Primary holder, I should say.
yeah, if I'm not the holder of the leash, we are more productive.
Yeah.
Like
Perfect.
it's a good thing.
Okay. And okay, so you and Jackie live in a house and you have Frida.
Mhm.
Can you tell us where you work?
Yes, I work for an organization called the Metropolitan Center for Independent Living. We're established. We got our roots going in 1983. I didn't start working for the organization until 2006.
Okay, and
So
where did you work before that?
before that, I was an employment specialist, and I worked for a agency called LifeTrack Resources, and LifeTrack was a wonderful organization um, that had employment specialists, um, job coaches, all kinds of people to help people with disabilities live more effective lives in the community. And when I was an employment specialist, I was doing follow up services with a young man whose job at the Center for Independent Living turned into a paid position.
Okay.
So the
Tell
reason
us
I
who
think
that was or no, is that like illegal?
what's up?
Can you tell us who the person was that you were working with? Because maybe,
Um,
or can we not? Is it?
I can
Can
I can tell you I can tell you his first name.
Okay, what's his first name?
His first name was Andy.
Oh, I know this. I think I know this person, but I
You
don't
might.
know because there's more than one Andy.
Yeah, there is more than one Andy.
But I might know this person.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe.
Well, okay. So you were working with Andy.
I was working with Andy, and his volunteer job turned into a paid position at the Center for Independent Living. And I was doing follow up services for him. So, like every couple of weeks, I would meet him and I would make sure that the work was going okay. Well, at this time, Katrina, I couldn't get him to return my phone calls. So one day, I just showed up at his job,
Okay.
and the job ended up being obviously at the Center for Independent Living.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, his role, it wasn't that his role for the company was he was like an IT assistant. So he helped the IT department with all kinds of computer related work. And so when I stopped by that day, I asked for him at the front desk. And when he came up to meet me, he he's a bigger guy than me, and he kind of came up and said, "Nick, this is my job. What are you doing here?" And I looked up at him and said, "Andy, this is my job. I'm making sure you have one.
That's what I'm doing here.
That is what I'm doing here." And then, like, like, you know, like happens anytime somebody's dealing with me, like any conversation turns into a good conversation. And I ended up talking to his manager, and we ended up chatting for an hour about the independent living philosophy and disability history and all this kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
So that's and then a couple weeks later, there was a job over here, and I was encouraged to apply.
Okay, so now could you please tell us what your job at MCIL is?
Yes. My job title is independent living coordinator.
Okay, please tell us what that means.
That job title is broad enough that it allows me to help individuals with one-to-one goal setting, any goal underneath the independent living umbrella. It could be budgeting, it could be transportation training, it could be helping somebody study for their written driver's permit test. It could be a big portion of my job is I do a lot of outreach around the Twin Cities within schools and community-based programs. So I go into those environments. I talk about what we do at the Center for Independent Living, how we help people remove barriers and promote the idea that they can make choices, but with also the understanding that we are an entity that is not going to do it for you. We are going to pull up alongside and assist you in breaking down what we need to do to get you to execute your own goals. But at the end of the day, it's not our responsibility to achieve those goals for you. That would be the Center for Dependent Living versus the Center for Independent Living.
Okay, so for clarity, you wouldn't like find somebody housing.
We help people find housing, but we cannot guarantee that we will find exactly what people are looking for.
Okay.
Because that's one of the areas that's so challenging for people is like we don't have enough affordable housing.
No, we really don't.
Nope.
But you could connect them to the people that could help them find housing, correct?
Yep. And also work with them on like, how do you call about an apartment? What are you looking for? How do you set up a tour? How do you apply for different kinds of apartments? How do you apply for different kinds of benefits? What benefit programs are out there that are going to be able to help assist you to live your most independent life? So we do hundreds of different things, Katrina, but the best part about our work is as a IL coordinator, I never really know what might pop up in my day. And I like the flexibility to kind of shift and move and help people in different aspects of what they do.
Okay, so could I ask you, like, what question do you spend the most time answering? Like, what question comes up the most frequently? Or is like not fair to ask?
Well,
because
I
there's
mean,
different ones.
I would say like one of the things that I do a lot of is I also wear the hat for home modifications and ramps.
Okay.
So I spend a lot of time consulting with people about better home access and what's going to be the best solution to help them remain in their own places to live for as long as possible.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to wrap it up for this episode, but we will come back with part 2 in a minute.
Sounds awesome.
Thanks, Nick. See you soon.
Definitely.
Boldly Challenging Ableism is a co-production of AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and the Institute on Community Integration at the University of Minnesota. For more information, please visit ici.umn.edu.